think this is not fair. I know I complain a lot, but I don't think it's fair.
Look, I love Luka and he's a top 5 player on this planet, but would you prefer to have a leader of your team acting like this or like this? Because main guy's behavior sends a huge signal to the whole team. Canada advanced to World Cup semifinals with an impressive performance, but the biggest story of the game was refereeing. Or at least Doncic and the Slovenians made it look like it. While Shai Gilgeous-Alexander remained calm and collected throughout the match, Luka got himself ejected with 6 minutes to go after complaining all game long. Let's analyze if Slovenia's complaints about refereeing were legit, Jordi Fernandez's interesting plan versus Luka, and why this Canada team is perfect for FIBA basketball.
Here comes Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Look at him go. Oh my goodness. Did that really happen?
After the game, all that members of Slovenia national team talked about was poor refereeing. Luka even made money signs towards what looked like the VIP section of FIBA management. On the other hand, this is nothing new. It's the third summer in a row where we see Luka complaining from the start to finish in a single elimination game. Slovenia fans are quick to point that if he had gotten 16 free throws like Shai did, he would have been calmer, but is he really that calm in the NBA where he actually gets those calls? On the other hand, Shai was as composed as ever. But look at Luka reacting when he bumps into the defender and doesn't get a foul called. And now compare it with the same situation for Shai. Quite a different picture, huh? One is calm and the other is demonstrating anger, which ignites his teammates as well. That's not rocket science. Your leader sets the tone for the game every time. If he is playing lazy on defense, all team is likely to follow. If he is positive and full of good vibes, the team probably will go into that direction. But with Luka spending so much energy talking to the refs made his teammates do the same. I get that this is a questionable call, there will always be some, referees are not perfect, but Prepelic is leaning a bit in front, which makes this a good call looking at this episode only. No need to react this way. Focus on possible counters against Canada's interesting plan versus Luka. I thought Slovenians' emotions were over the top and it heavily influenced their performance in the second half. Watch Luka dribble and look at the ref twice while doing it. He's obviously thinking about them while playing. And despite how great he is, that costs him here. He gets inside, makes a bad pass, complains to the ref while Canada are already at half court. RJ Barrett is fouled, and since they are down 14, they have completely lost it. Prepelic is angry, all the bench is up. While looking at the replay, you can clearly see they got RJ on the left hand and not on the ball. Luka has mentioned multiple times that he has to deal better with his emotions. That's why I'm surprised a bit of how he reacted. What did he expect? If average defenders are trying to be physical with him, what did he expect from good defenders like Lu Dort and Brooks? These two did an impressive job, both staying glued to Luka but at the same time defending with their chest for most of the time. Now look at the level of contact that Shai faced on the other side. Slovenia simply don't have defenders like these two, as they had to reach in with their hands much more. That's a way easier whistle to make than when you are giving a little bit of contact with your chest. And in every foul call versus Shai, you see Luka's teammates giving in at some point and trying to play defense with their hands, not only body. Or here, Shai is Euro-stepping his way to the rim, foul is called and you can see 3 players with their hands up, while on the replay, it's obvious Hrovat is moving.
And now a technical foul, Gregor Horvat.
However, the attention towards the refs after the game was a shame, since the game itself was of a high quality. Canada had an interesting plan versus Luka, he was quick to respond, and Jordi Fernandez then had to improvise during the game and so on. First of all, they switched ball screens from the beginning, which brought his Dallas teammate Dwight Powell in front of Luka. He is forcing Doncic left, and it seems Canada's idea is to force Luka inside and then help or double. Shai arrives from the strong side and Nikolic swishes it. Seeing Canada's choices, Slovenia don't run anything else. It's a switch and Luka ISO versus Powell again. Seems like he influences Doncic right this time, but the Slovenian is going where he wants for the second possession in a row. So far, so good.
Steps back, puts it up against his Mavericks teammate and scores! Another 3 for Doncic.
Slovenians were rolling in the first quarter, as it often is the story with Luka. While he is fresh, there's pretty much no defense that can stop him with shooters around. And Slovenia are full of them. It's another switch versus Powell, Canada stunned from the side with overload in it, and Slovenia worked their way for another spot-up 3. Fernandez's tactics finally work when Luka meets Olynyk. It's obvious now that Canada wants Doncic to go right. This makes him more of a driver inside than a step-back shooter when he is going left. That's smart, since I would also rather have him shooting contested twos than contested threes. On the other side of the court, Canada are also intelligent about their offense. It's not only Shai doing work, it's the guy that is defended by Luka being aggressive. This means they're getting him tired, thus more nervous for the second half. It's not like Luka can be as efficient as in the first quarter for 40 minutes with his insane usage rate. RJ beats his closeout and it's Brooks for free. Next play, Luka is still on Barrett. Knicks guard fakes the handoff knowing he will attack Doncic one-on-one. RJ gets to the rim with ease and then finishes with a nice floater. Wing had an amazing game as he finished with 24 points, 9 rebounds and looked as explosive as ever.
Number 20 in there. He can't stop Barrett.
Couple of possessions later, it's Dort driving inside and Luka helping. Slovenia rotate pretty well, but Brooks is like, "Oh hey Luka, it's you again." They remember the plan and it's Dylan Brooks now going all the way to the rim. A minute later, Canada don't think much. Brooks sets a pick, bringing Doncic into the action. It's the matchup we all wanted, but Prepelic comes to double, forcing the ball out of his hands, and Slovenia are struggling on closeout defense.
Alexander Walker goes in for the rim rocker.
Again, no rim protection, no side.
Probably the biggest difference between these two teams was individual defense. We all saw how Brooks and Dort was in Luka's grill, while Shai had this much space on many episodes. Anytime he saw Nikolic in front with no possible stunts nearby, he went to work immediately. And this pushback into mid-range is becoming his trademark in the World Cup. The guy is a mid-range master. It's zoom action from Canada to get him attacking downhill, and he throws a spin into a cross into another spin for a fadeaway. Yikes. In the next clip, he sees Nikolic in front once again. That's already a mismatch. Brooks wants to set a pick, but Shai feels that's not needed. What a move to create space. After this, I'm thinking, man, Slovenia do need to send help to Nikolic. But here he is again, looking at the same matchup with no guys shrinking the floor. Shai bumps Nikolic, Luka helps from Walker, and it's a wide open free.
Contact. Alexander Walker! Boy, what a sequence for Canada.
Now, going back to Canada's tactics versus Luka on defense. Influencing him inside and right started working at the end of the second quarter. Powell does a great job here, Brooks plays a role as well, and it's a shot you want Luka to take if you are his opponent. Couple of possessions later, two teammates are facing off again. Since Toby is not an inside threat, he has to try to do it all by himself. And that's not a winning strategy for 40 minutes if you ask me. The man is not a machine. No permission from Powell for a step back, he does well forcing Luka right and staying close. He misses and Canada used their main weapon in offense, fast break basketball. There is not much you can do against Barrett going full speed here. Same matchup one more time later and Luka looks way more tired. Opposite the Slovenians, look how Canada shrink the floor for Luka, Brooks disturbs his layup in the end and Doncic misses uncharacteristically. Down 12 in the fourth quarter, he sees a favorable matchup with Olynyk defending the switch. That's where his tiredness shows the most. He drives right and instead of going all the way, he tries selling the foul and doesn't get the call. This gives Canada a chance to run, Shai avoids a foul and RJ Barrett finishes another layup.
This game. And RJ Barrett goes down and scores.
Excellent defense that leads to transition offense is exactly the thing that makes this Canada team as super dangerous in FIBA basketball. They outscored the Slovenians in fast break points 23-7 and most of these were after missed shots, not even steals. While Luka was visibly tired and frustrated, Shai on the other hand sealed the game in the second half. Of course, 4 players that are around him all play in the NBA, giving him possessions in the corner, where he's just a spectator. Also, their defense allows others to get free points in transition and that helps a lot too. Other times, Shai just went at his primary defender. Slovenia don't have Dylan Brooks or Dort. They were rightly keeping distance from him, but he wasn't missing. Last play of the game was a cherry on top. Dragic gives him left and SGA stops on a dime like a true veteran, leaving Zoran with no other choice than fouling him as he closes the game.
The clock. And Gilgeous-Alexander is fouled by Dragic in the act of shooting. He banks it in.
So what do you guys think? How should a true leader behave on the court? Should Luka be calmer on the court despite some calls not going his way? Let's discuss it in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like this video and I'll see you in the next one.